So the 2020 NFL Draft is now officially in the books, and right here in this video, we're going to take a look and see what every team did in the 2020 NFL Draft. Just a quick disclaimer, 221 of these players are real life prospects. There were only 3 fictional players in the entire draft class. Now, we'll start out with the Bears and their draft. They drafted Jake Moretti in the 2nd round, Devonta Smith. Jordan Gemmark-Heath was the steal in the 5th round, the safety. And now looking at the Bengals, here they drafted Deondre Francois in the 3rd round, who has a cannon for an arm if you've seen the video. And they drafted Eric Swenson in the 7th round. He was another steal. Bills had a pretty rough draft here, but they did snag Chris Evans in the 5th round and Keon Hawkins from Michigan in the 7th round. Looking at the Broncos, Jedrick Wills, good pick in the 2nd round, trying to rebuild their O-line, but the rest of their draft was wasn't very good. Looking at the Browns here, Chase Young, he was a steal in the 2nd round. At least he had some good development, but the rest of the draft was pretty rough for Cleveland. Looking at the Buccaneers, Drake DeJulius, I guess that's how you pronounce his name, in the 4th round. He's a steal, but the rest of the draft, again, pretty for the Bucs. The Cardinals had a very nice draft with 3 players over 70 in the 1st round, and then Joe Jackson in the 6th round is 76 overall. Great steal for them there. Chargers had some limited picks to work with, so their draft was pretty weak. Their draft basically hinges on how well Baby Snoots plays in his NFL career. Looking at the Chiefs draft, Derek Tucker was a steal in the 4th round, but other than that, pretty draft for the Chiefs. For the Colts, pretty draft. Allen in the 2nd round was decent, but the rest of the draft, nothing to write home about. The Cowboys had a very nice draft. Look at this. McKinney, Jackson, Johnson, Williams, and now looking at the Dolphins, they had a crap ton of draft picks to work with, and they need it because they are, as you can see, negative $29 million in cap space. I don't know what they've been doing. So the Eagles, they're negative $18 million in cap space, and drafted Kevin Taylor in the 5th round, so that's a pretty good pick. The Falcons drafted Davis Mills, of course, Joe Lugg in the 2nd round, very solid selection, but the rest of the draft, 68 overall, that's not very good. The Giants, the 49ers, correction, Hunter Johnson in the 3rd round, basically signals that they're pretty much done with Chad Kelly at this point. Now let's take a look at the Giants right here. Donaldson, St. Juste, and Pettigrew, though, in the 6th round, he's pretty good. And that's about it for their draft. The Jaguars, Willie Gay, we know he's pretty good, but the rest of the draft, not so much, drafting a 59 overall in the 7th round. Ooh. Looking at the Jets here, they had a pretty solid start to the draft. Oliver Martin, Bishop in the 4th round, Palomalu even. Now for a look at this Lions draft. In the 2nd round, the Lions took DJ Johnson. He's alright out of Miami. In the 3rd round, they took Jalen Kelly-Powell. He's decent, but a lot of these guys are going to be role players. Devery Hamilton, not much room for him to start, but he's decent, just needs to get his awareness up. Darian Franklin, he's alright. Tate Martell is just basically a developmental quarterback at this point. And Kentrell Love, just a developmental player at this point. So, pretty much an draft for the Lions. They really only got one starter out of it, that being Tariq Black. Looking at the Packers, Frank Martin was a steal in the 6th round, but that was about it for them. The Panthers, Laurent Halcatera in the 4th round, he's pretty good, but that was about it for them. Looking at the Patriots, Sam Jigbober, he's a beast. In the 6th round, they drafted Trajan Butler. He's pretty darn good, but that's about it. For the Raiders, Tua Tagovailoa in the 4th round, probably more competition, but Xavier Newman in the 5th round, 77 overall. That's a beast pick for them. Looking at the Rams, Thomas, he's decent. Wilson isn't bad in the 5th round, but that's about it. Looking at the Ravens, Chuck Faliga in the 2nd round, very nice selection, but that was about it for their draft. Ravens needed to address offensive line after poor Josh Rosen was pummeled in the AFC title game. Redskins, Tadarius Slayton in the second round, very nice, but other than that, that's where the draft kind of dipped down. Looking at the Saints draft, Drew Singleton, solid selection, but that's about it for New Orleans. Rough draft for them. Looking at the Seahawks, their first 3 picks, very nice. Cyrus Fagan, pretty good. Even Matt Faranoak in the 5th round, very solid selection. Looking at the Steelers, had a couple of big-time steals late. Andrew Voorhees, Michael Oleski, very nice steals on the offensive line. Looking at the Texans here, not much to write home about for them. And draft, looking at the Titans, at least Jay Tufele, we know he's a stud, but no one else in this draft class is really any good, I guess. And the Vikings, to round things out, Jack Anderson, a steal in the 2nd round, so that is good. And they got Kenny Lick in the 7th round, who seems to be pretty darn good. So good for them.